What's worse? The fact that Oklahoma's going to have like 8, 9, or 10 players suspended for their round one playoff game in the Peach Bowl against LSU, or the fact that it's not even going to matter anyway. Okay, boomer. Hey, good morning, and that's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on YouTube today. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Also, in addition to that as well, subscribe to this channel if you're not already. I post college football videos every single day of the year. Sometimes they're even watchable. My favorite team is Georgia, but I'm a college football fan. Hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Bowl game starting pretty soon here. But I don't know what's going on out in Norman. There's a lot of smoke. Way too much smoke, in my opinion, for there to be no fire at all. But if you haven't heard, reports started surfacing yesterday that a substantial number of Oklahoma players were looking at a suspension for this round one game coming up against LSU in the Peach Bowl. Now, OU obviously has no comment, hasn't said anything yet, at least officially, but everything I'm hearing from everywhere indicates that somewhere between 8 to 10 players may have failed a drug test for weed, is what I'm hearing. Now, I'm not here to judge anybody for smoking weed. These are college kids. I'm sure it happens all the time on college campuses all over America. Whether you're talking about football players, other athletes, or non-athletes. I really could care less. But in doing some research into the NCAA testing here before I did the video today, it does appear that the NCAA has a habit of testing these teams prior to the bowl games, particularly the playoff games. Of course, we remember last year Clemson getting tested heading into the playoffs and had several players come up positive for a PED, Osterine or Osterine, whatever the hell it's called. They ended up getting suspended and having to sit out an entire season, the round one game, the championship game, and then most of this 2019 season. According to the NCAA's website, if a player tests positive for marijuana, it's an automatic suspension of half a season. So 6 or so games. Now, what I'm hearing is that that's what happened here. The NCAA rolled into Norman with their drug testing kits, and several OU players popped hot for marijuana. 8 to 10 is the number I'm hearing. Mostly defensive players is what I'm hearing. Again, this is a lot of rumor and speculation here, so I'm not here to try to break news or to tell you this is 100%, but if you do any looking around today on any Oklahoma pages anywhere, you will see this same information that I'm telling you. Again, we'll see what happens. But that's what is out there right now. That 8 to 10 players popped hot for the marijuana, 6 games, 7 game suspension per NCAA rules, and that Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma are appealing that decision before, I guess, making any announcement or making anything public about what may or may not happen in terms of suspensions heading into the Peach Bowl. Now, of course, Clemson appealed these decisions too. And listen, it's hard to get anything overturned by the NCAA. We saw the Missouri Bowl ban get upheld this year. We saw the Clemson suspensions for PEDs get upheld last season. It's hard for me to imagine that the NCAA is going to roll over in this case here. Like I said, according to the NCAA website, it's an automatic suspension of half a season, which is 6 to 7 games, give or take, right? I'm assuming 6 games. In any case, I can't imagine the suspension even getting reduced to anything less than a game. I've heard some speculation that it may be a quarter or a half. I think that would be optimistic thinking at this point based on recent history within the NCAA, what gets overturned, what doesn't in terms of these appeals. I would be very surprised if this is what happened. If they did get caught or failed a drug test for marijuana, I would be very surprised if any of those players play at all in the Peach Bowl. Now, this is bad news for Oklahoma for obvious reasons. Oklahoma's made the playoffs how many times now? 3, I think it is. And they've lost in the first round every single time. They lost to Alabama once or twice, I guess. They lost to Georgia. I had it pulled up. Who did they lose to? Clemson is the other team they lost to. So they lost to Clemson They lost to Georgia. They lost to Alabama. It seems like every time they get in the playoffs, they lose in the first. Well, it doesn't seem that way. It is that way. They made the playoffs 3 times. They've lost in round 1 every single time. They were a huge underdog heading into this game, in my opinion, to start with. Anyway, I don't think Oklahoma is good enough to beat LSU. Oklahoma relies on a powerful offense to outscore opponents most of the time, and if there's a team this year that can go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma offensively, it's LSU. In fact, I think LSU has a better offense than Oklahoma does this year, and obviously Oklahoma's defense has the same issues that it's had year after year after year over the last 5 or 6 years. Their defense has been a little bit better this year, but nowhere near the level of a Clemson or Ohio State or even an LSU. Oklahoma had no chance in this game, in my opinion, before this news yesterday. And if this news ends up being true and Oklahoma has to sit, several players, multiple starters, whatever the case may be, then you can just forget it and hang it up. I mean, Oklahoma is going to need not only every player they have, but a little bit of luck to have any chance to win this game to start with. So if this ends up being true, just forget it. If you're an Oklahoma fan, try again next year. I don't know what to tell you. All that land thieving you did back in the day. Oklahoma's chickens have come home to roost. Yeah. Anyway, sorry for your luck. Okay, boomer.